Welcome, Collette Whiteman. Do I have your name right?
That's right. Yeah,
Whiteman.
Whiteman. Yeah.
To the Institute for Advanced Astonishment. So nice
Fantastic.
to see
Thanks,
you.
James. Thanks for
And where are
inviting me.
you? You're England?
Yes, in the UK.
Ah,
Yeah, south of London. Yeah, in the countryside.
my cat that made it here to Guatemala from New York, from the land of Walt Whitman, Long Island, New York, was named Shakespeare. He passed
Ah,
away a year or two ago, and now I
oh.
have Schopenhauer. And I saw you had a cat, I think.
I've got three. Yeah,
Oh,
but there's
great.
one that particularly comes on it gets in on everything. And I've
Oh,
actually
great.
fed him on purpose to stop him from coming
Yes.
because he'll get to a certain time and he'll be rubbing his face on everything.
They
So you
they know,
might
right?
still pop
They
in.
they know just where to go, right? To
Yeah.
block the camera. And this Schopenhauer goes wherever. It's like a good exercise of doing the work. He'll go wherever I don't want him to go. He knows to be there before I get there.
Oh, wow.
He's always there, right where I don't want him.
Oh, bless
So
him.
I was thinking today, maybe we just try to unravel this mystery of awareness. You like the word awareness or consciousness, or what's your?
Yeah, I think we can. It's always good to mix it up because,
Yeah,
they mean certain things to certain people, and we can just point from all directions, and maybe one of them
I
will
love
hit.
that. I love that. And there's something too. I thought you were going to say, uh, mixing it up is good because the language becomes a little stagnant if you use a certain
Yeah,
thing. It just
yeah,
gets like
yeah.
hard.
Because it
Yeah.
gets identified with. It
Yes.
becomes. It's like, oh, we know what that is, and we just don't
Yes.
explore it any more than that surface level of, we just think we know, and so we want to move on. Yeah, yeah, got that. Rather than
Yeah.
actually, what is it pointing to? That's the
Exactly.
that's it, really.
Yes.
If
The
we're ever
journey.
communicating, pointing, it's only ever what we're pointing to and what's expressing.
Yes.
What's expressing it? What's that resonance that's being shared? That's expressing. Is it?
Yes. So let's start with, I'll play the seeker. Uh, Someone who says, "I get it intellectually, Collette. I
Mm.
get it. I really get it." And not only do I get it, I thought it was BS. I thought it was silly, but now I really believe it. So I get it and I believe it and I know you're right, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
Yeah. Mm. So, I think we can, like you say, we can understand it. It can make sense, but really, it's the direct experience of it that reveals
Yes.
it. So, these are all concepts and thoughts and ideas that are pointing to what we are, to recognize the truth of our being. But if we stay at the concepts, the thoughts and ideas, and don't feel into, don't directly experience what they're pointing to, we just stay in that conceptual realm of, okay, so this is this and that's that, and I've got that and I've got this, and basically mental activity is appearing in what we are. So it can't know it because it's already almost one step away from it. It's appearing
Yes.
in it. So it can't turn and look and contrast and compare because it's a tool that is for duality. It's a dualistic tool. And what we are, there's nothing apart from what we are.
Right.
So,
It's
so
so
it can't be,
close.
it can't be compared
Yeah.
because if it's what we are, you can't hold up what we are apart from ourselves and say, okay, oh, this is what it is. Oh, I've got it. No, it's what you already are. So it's a
Yes.
backward movement. We are constantly looking outside of ourselves. And I did that, and it is frustrating because you're looking for what you are. You're trying to grasp it with mental activity. And all of that is a step outside of because we're already it. So what's grasping is just limiting itself and searching for itself. And the reason it feels like it's lost something is because it's already one step away from itself. So it really is
Yep.
this backward movement into what's already here.
I love backward movement. I felt that every time. It's a step. a stepless step back rather than forward. You can't chase it. And that's a big theme with you. Like, don't. So if someone has this secret energy, how would you get them to simmer down a little bit? Did they have to run out of it? Did they have to wear it
There's
out
all
like a
different
little?
ways, everybody's
Yeah.
different. But the way I would point, if somebody was very grasping and potentially frustrated, and all of that is understandable, so you're not going to say, no, you're wrong. That is, yes, that's all understandable because you're looking outside of yourself. So I would point somebody to rest back. I quite often do this. Okay.
I like that.
So that's just what we tend to do when we're seeking. We're in mental activity that's narrowed down, and there's a contraction, this experience of a me that's looking. So we're looking from this narrowed view, and I offer to open your focus. So to go to more of a peripheral vision, and also to feel like you could just rest back. Hang on a minute. Instead of grasping, how about just resting back for a minute? Because what we're looking for is already here. So we don't need to lean forward. It's a matter of leaning back. And then I point to, we tend to feel like we're centered in our heads in thoughts. That's our dominant mode because that's how we've been trained. So this open of focus, this resting back, and then there's this dropping down.
Love that.
And I just point to dropping down, down, down into the ground of being. And then
Yes.
I quite often point to the contact points of the body in the chair and to just directly experience those. Now, we could tell a story about those, or we could just directly experience them. So it's something different there. There is just a noticing of what's there rather than a story about what's there, rather than a commentary about what's there. So this just noticing is becoming a little bit more less dense, less identifiable with just noticing. So we're sort of becoming it, we're looking at it from non-conceptual awareness, from just what's here when we don't create. And it's just reality. I'm not offering anybody anything that they can't directly experience because it's what they are. So I point to the contact points of the body in the chair and the feet in the ground. And then I maybe point to the area inside of the body, how we can feel how spacious, there's a spacious area inside,
Yeah.
and then the spacious area outside. And then I get them to see that can they notice where the inside and the outside meet. And without concepts, thoughts, and ideas of,
Yeah.
oh, well, there's my skin and there's the air and there's that, without all of that, if just in direct experience, 99.9% of people can't find a boundary. So then I just take them to, okay, so this is your formless awareness.
Yeah.
Does it have a boundary? Can we just keep exploring out? So I sort of take them on this little journey to explore what's actual. So I'm not, it's not, it's for them. If they do find a boundary, then we look at that. Then
Yeah.
we explore that. So I always feel like nobody's getting anything wrong because they already are it.
I like
So
that.
so it's okay. Because all of this, not quite getting it, one step away and whatever, is how life wakes itself up. It is the journey
Yes.
for something that's already awake to itself. It's just veiling itself in order to have that journey of discovery, a bit like opening a present. It's like, oh my goodness. It's
Yes.
this recognition, this realization is potentially so sweet because we've experienced this being bound, being contracted, being feeling like we've got to get something and we're lost, and that recognition that, oh my goodness, you mean it was always only this? All
Best.
I've ever been when I was 5, 15, 25,
Yes.
this everyday awareness that's always here, that's so normal, is my true nature. And obviously, as soon as we pick up a thought, well, it can't be that easy. And if we adopt that, if true nature adopts that thought, then that's the story that starts looping. There's an
Right.
experience of a me that's because we've adopted that thought. It's literally that easy to feel like you've left. So we have this got it, lost it. They might then
Yes.
go, well, hang on a minute. What happens when I'm not on the call for you with you? I've got somebody who's seen it and they're like, oh my goodness. But what happens later when I'm not on the call? So now their mind is projecting to a future where they probably lost it. They're going to lose it. So it's starting to loop.
Yes.
It's like consciousness can offer itself, can reflect this idea of a me that sort of believed in because we've been experiencing it. So never did I experience because they said, well, I lost it and I got it and I lost it. And I'm like, yeah. But actually, what's experiencing that is your true nature. And I didn't get that. I felt like there was two positions, true nature
Yes.
and ego. But the ego is not an entity. It's a construct of the mind. So, there's this, so I looked at this today, meing. We can't, this meing that happens, this experience of a me, can't be who we are. Because
Yes.
meing is sort of an activity that our true nature is doing. And I was like, oh, I could use that,
Perfect.
me.
I love that. I wrote somewhere, you can't have two asses on the throne. Like there's only one. So when the me is sitting
Yeah,
there, you're out. And even though you're
yeah,
there, you are the throne. You're the whole.
yeah. It's like
And
Eckhart said, I can't live with myself. That was his
yes.
point of awakening. He was like, hang on a minute, who can't live with themselves? There was that crack in
Yes.
the pain and the suffering. There was a crack of, because being is always there. It's what we are. So no matter how veiled, how lost in the game, I do this funny little thing I'll share with you.
Sure.
So, so there is just a true nature, yeah, and it creates this world of duality in order to experience itself, yeah, because as we know, the absolute has no attributes. If we go to the absolute, there is nothing apart from it. It's not given birth to itself. So it's when we're only looking from the absolute view, it can't be spoken about. You almost can't speak because it's prior to manifestation. So this is the world of manifestation. So the absolute is creating this point of view for itself to experience. That's all fine. So there's the game of duality, and you've got your virtual your being. That's the human being that's now Collette experiencing. That's all fine. And then you get a little bit invested. Somebody upsets you, and you're still okay. You still know you're the absolute experiencing, but then you get really deep. Once you've got deep in the game, you have no idea that you're the absolute looking. You now are the separate self. And you're like, where has my true nature gone? I've lost it. I don't, that's what's looking.
It's genius.
It's so
And your
funny.
visual there is so perfect. It's like VR goggles, even the way
Yeah.
your hands
It's
were.
like a whole, it's
Yeah.
made this game and it's looking at the whole and it's getting more and more invested.
And
And now it's like, oh
yes.
my God, where's my true nature gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Got it, lost it. But it's always the one thing looking, invested or interested, you know.
Yes. It's always smiling. It's right there, and so patient, waiting for it to like. I like the way almost everything you say. I say the same exact thing. You don't have to awaken from the dream, but you can see through the dream. And I think you said like a see it's transparent, see through. You don't have to awaken from it. I mean, you can awaken from it or lucidly awaken in it, but just see through it is the main. Once you see through it, like you said before, and you get a taste of that presence, you don't want to go back to that homelessness again, where you live in a cardboard box on the street. You want to go back to this beautiful feather bed of awareness. You get that taste of you're you're everything and not this little limited character.
Mm, mm. I had a
So
funny thing come up today because you just reminded me. I sort of got this thing of I don't know whether I'm going to be able to repeat it because I haven't. But what happened was it was as if what's knocking on the front door is your ego self, this identity that's saying, it's making a loud noise and it's saying, let me in, it's calling you, it's saying, got all these stories you need to pay attention to. It's very urgent. It's really banging hard on the door, yeah. And it's telling you need to, there's lots of things you need to attend to. There's lots of things you've got to organize. And you need to pay attention to what I'm saying. So you need to let me in. It's rattling at the door and really
Yeah.
banging. And then at the back door, there's like a little tap. And it's your true nature going,
I love that.
hello,
Yeah.
hello. Um, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I know you're perhaps busy with the front door,
Little tap.
but yeah, but I don't mind. I'll just wait. So it's
Yeah.
like it's patiently waiting for you. And it doesn't
Yes.
mind that you're entertaining the thoughts. It's
Never.
sort of like, that's okay. I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you've had enough of
That's perfect.
I'm here waiting for you. And I am you. The
Yes.
kicker
Yes.
is I am you.
Yeah. You tired
So that
yet?
just
You
appears to
want to take
me.
a break from acting and come
Yeah,
back home?
yeah,
I see it. I love that. The little tap on the glass with and I'm picturing when you were saying the knock on the front, the door it's almost punching, like you could see the door moving, it's like really coming through. And
yeah.
I always see it like, if you came to someone's house and you said, "Do you hear that beautiful music? It's so beautiful, this beautiful note. I hear that." And they say, "I can't hear it because they have 20 vacuum cleaners going. There's six babies over in the corner, a few monkeys over here, the blender, you have three blender."
Oh
And so
my
you
goodness.
you say pull a plug, like pull, so they pull one, and this is you see this with someone who's frustrated. They pull one and they're like, "I still can't hear it." And I'm like, "No, there are 19 other vacuums going. You have to take your time. Just keep going and pull the blender out and let's put the babies on the lawn." And then you hear the tap or the
Oh,
beautiful,
lovely.
and it's always going, but they just, they couldn't hear.
Mm,
So beautiful.
yeah.
Do
So
you,
silently waiting for us,
yes, yes.
so
Do
patient,
you,
so
do you feel like, um, the suffering, so many people see suffering as a mistake, but you could see it as pushing you home too. Do you see suffering that
yeah.
way?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt that it was waking me up. Literally, the push and pull is a wake
Yes.
up, wake up,
Yes.
wake up. It's like something's shaking you awake.
The
Um,
best way in a dream is something scary wakes you up in a dream.
yeah. Um, and this sort of how much do you want? How much suffering do you want?
Yes. Oh, that's great.
How
Yeah.
much? You want some more? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna get that. We're gonna get bigger. We're gonna get
Yes.
louder. How much? A bit like Eckhart, he had it to the
Yes.
extreme. I'm not saying I had it too extreme. We all have suffering. But what I did notice, what I thought was odd, that I was suffering little things, everyday things that I shouldn't be
Yeah.
suffering over. And I was like, that's not right. Something
Yeah.
isn't adding up here because why am I suffering that? And I could see that it was the thoughts about the thing that was creating the suffering, not the actual thing. And the identity with it, poor me that's having to do this and nobody else is doing it. And why is it me? And I just thought, oh my goodness, that looping of thoughts that I just knew something isn't right. And that's when I did the work of Byron Katie. I looked at all my thoughts because it's seeing through, they're their beliefs, but we're taking them to be truths. We're not
Yeah.
looking at them because they're sort of just the lens of conditioning is distorting what we're seeing. Somebody will appear to be ignoring you, but and not liking you, but they're just perhaps busy. But we're pasting all of that conditioning onto. If we've got this identity of people don't like me, which was one of mine, that you then apply that, it gets filtered through this absolutely clear lens that we are. You know, our lens is completely clear, but then it sort of has all this beliefs on it. So we look through this lens of beliefs and apply it to everything. And that's that, you know, identity. And then if we can clean the lens, I'm not
Yes.
saying ego is real because it's a mind construct, but I felt for me that as I looked through the thoughts, I felt like the ego got quieter, the identity got less, so that, eventually it just, there was just a shift of perspective, sorry, that I was looking for presence and then I recognized I am presence. I was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. And then it did take a little while I felt like there was something still here. And I was like, well, what's
Mm.
that? Because I felt that equanimity. that, okay, things were happening. And I was like, well, it's just what's happening. Something would fall off. And I'd normally have a story. Oh my goodness, that's going to cost a lot of money. And who do I get to do that? Or there's a flat tire. Or no. And it was like,
Right.
well, oh, there's just this unfolding of life. Everything's just happening and it's okay. Yes, that doesn't mean I don't get stuff done. I need to take action, but there's no suffering with it. It's just sort of unfolding. Okay, so that was all okay, but I still hadn't seen through the fact that I still believed I was Colette,
Hmm.
and it was as if I had a sticker on me, on my skin called Colette. And I went to somebody called David Bingham. I don't know whether you know him, um,
Yes.
and he just said, "Well, there's something that's never changed throughout your life."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, I know that. I had that sense of it already, but I didn't know that was my true nature." And I'd always, spoken about it myself. I'd say, gosh, I don't feel any older. I don't feel any different. Yet, time goes on, but I don't feel any different. And he pointed to that. And I was like, yes, I know that. He said, well, that's your true nature. I was like, oh, my parents named it Colette.
Ah,
So the label that that baby is something prior to the label. Yeah, it
yes.
is. It just is. It's been born. It's just we're going to label it a baby to begin with, but it's life. You could say it's life, is birthed life. And then there's a label applied to it. And then everybody addresses it as that label. So it learns that it's a label. Now
Yes.
I'm Colette. And I was something before that. And then there's
Yes.
the story of Colette. And then there's the beliefs and the concepts and the ideas and what everybody thinks Colette should be. And then Colette's trying to be what everybody wants her to be. And the whole thing is just, no wonder it's painful. And no wonder it's hard
Yes.
to once you're in there. How I remember, how do I get rid of this ego identity that I know so that's that conceptual understanding. I know it's not who I am because it's a mind-made construct. Get that. But I'm believing it's who I am. So how the hell do I get rid of it?
Right.
It's like you feel like you're stuck there and you're going, hang on, how do
Yeah.
I get rid of what I am? Even though it's not what I am, what I believe myself to be. It's such a funny way that life can play hide and seek with itself.
Yeah, the most genius way possible. And did you do any medicines or anything in meditation or no? Okay.
I didn't have a meditation practice and I didn't do
Wow.
anything like that. Which I think is unusual not to have a meditation practice. So I did the work of Byron Katie, but what I did do, and probably what I did, there were certain things, we all come in different ways. And I was able to access wisdom, but I didn't realize what I was doing. So I was able to access the wisdom body, we could call it, this field of awareness that is not conceptual, it's not learnt, it's not knowledge that I'd learned. I was able to access and share with people wisdom, and it just was come out my mouth. So I would
Yeah.
have a sense of if somebody was talking to me, we're chatting away, then they'd start to say something, and I get this sort of sense that I needed to really listen. So I'd
Yeah.
listen on a different level.
Uh,
I literally open up, and I would become like a huge ear. So
it's
so
great.
it would just be it would be listening on a different level. So then I'm just feeling into because I
Sort
want
of
to
like an empty channel, no Colette, just this ear,
yeah. So it's as if
empty.
that went aside, the identity went aside. That's a good pointer. Thank you. The identity went aside, and this just sort of the field opened up, and then there was just speaking happening. And quite often, I
Yes.
wasn't completely. I was aware of what was being said, but not. It wasn't coming from me. It wasn't coming from the
Me.
character. So that happened quite a lot. Or if I was very close to somebody, I used to be a model, so the makeup artists, it's very relaxing having your makeup done. And they'd talk about their everyday problems. And then I would just be like, you're so wise. And I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm saying. It's just pouring out. So it's just in that very relaxed state.
Yes.
And also that intimacy. There's an intimacy, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because then you're not apart. Then there is that unity.
Yes.
then it can just, life can talk to itself, life can offer itself wisdom. It can, there's that alchemy in that, I don't know, deliciousness. It's hard to
Yes.
put
Yes.
to it. Our formless nature. But I didn't know I was doing any of that. So I don't know. You did ask me a question and I went off on it.
I don't remember either.
No.
Yeah, there's
Um,
like a, I like you say, an intimacy, like a fragrance, a frequency, a field, where it's all, like you said, unitive. It's all one, and there's no more judgment, and everything that we heard in religion, when they tried to say, "Don't judge, don't do that," it
yeah,
all comes clear, and you don't rebel against it anymore. You're like, "Oh, that is true. It's all true," and you
I
forgive and let
remember that
go.
bit saying, "Oh my goodness, it was true what Muji said," and I
Yes,
thought, "Oh my goodness, it was true.
yes,
Wow, all of that seeking, all of that searching, and wow." And then you just feel so blessed to have recognized the
yes.
truth. And you do want to share it with people, but there can be at the beginning a bit of an agenda because you're so excited and you just want to give it everybody else. You just want to wake everybody else up. But I did get a couple of words when I woke up, which have been quite handy. One of them was no agenda. So there's
That's
no
good.
agenda. There's no agenda. It's just that. There's no
Yeah,
me that needs you to wake up, you know. And then I know absolutely nothing was a really handy one. Because the eye that thinks it knows how to, thinks it knows what somebody else needs them, or even, it's a surrendering of that. And when and I often use it with people. I say to them, can you in this moment be okay with knowing nothing? With somebody who's very in their mind, in their mental realm. I say, how would you feel? Can you declare, I know absolutely nothing? And I get them to say it out loud and just surrender to it.
that's big.
Because there's some sort of diffusion of that one that feels like it's got to get it and it needs to know.
Yes,
And it's like, what about if you know absolutely nothing? Oh, and it's like you unplug from the mental realm and it's okay to not know.
yes,
It's like give yourself permission to be okay not knowing, because that's where we enter the field of knowing.
yes.
Oh, didn't you write a book or something on knowing, I saw? Did you write
I
a book
I
or
wrote
something?
three. Yeah, all on what you're saying. My
Yeah.
teacher told me, um, just and this was a guy I went to college. I got four master's degrees trying to find the answer, like in the university and the books and Shakespeare and knowledge. And
Wow.
I didn't know about Eckhart Tolle or the mystics or anything. And my teacher said, be dumb, just like what you're saying, like and this was a hero of mine, like my whole life that I read his book. And he said, so I listened and he said, be stupid, have no head, it's all about your head, get rid of your head. And but the first thing I always tell people is when he first told me about non-conceptual, I said, okay. And he said, okay, you're off. And we were on the phone. And he said, what are you going to do today? And I said, I'm going to the bookstore. And he said, what, why? And I said, I'm going to get a book on how concepts aren't it. And he just
The
laughed.
concept, that concept.
Like right now, he's still laughing at that.
That was
It's
because
so
you
funny.
sort of had got used to gathering information.
Yeah.
And who says that's not a path? Who says that's not a
Yes.
perfect path? Have you got
I
to
needed a
exhaust
map.
every avenue? Have you got to
Yes.
just exhaust everything and then
Yeah.
to just go, it's still not working?
Yes. Yes.
But also, when it does land, can that then all flower? Can you you're able to refer, you're able to pull on all that,
I
whereas I didn't have
agree.
that. I didn't
Yes.
study
Yes.
anything, which would come back to the question you asked me. So I didn't meditate and I didn't study.
Right.
But what I did do is I marinated in. So if I'd listened to Eckhart and I saw him a couple of times and I saw Muji a couple of times, and the experiences they take you to presence.
Yes.
You go in there and you're busy, and they start talking, and you're like, ah, and it's like you just get taken to presence. That's the experience. That's because it's actually different. What happens is the mind drops, and you recognize the presence that you are. It
Yes.
flowers, yeah, because it's hidden because we're in the mental realm when we arrive. So the mind, they point to what you are. And so what I used to do was I never tried to get anything out of the video. I never tried to understand what anybody was saying. I just went for resonance. I
I
felt like
love
I was
that.
a tuning fork, and I would just hone in on whatever information was needed, whatever resonance somebody was talking at. So different teachers at different times, I'd switch around. I did have a little bit of
Yes.
that really strong non-duality, like a Tony Parsons thing, but like for
Mm.
2 days,
Yeah.
and that was done. I was like,
Right.
enough of that, I'll go somewhere else. And so I was just tuning into what I needed. And I'd really recommend that to anybody. What's the resonance? When you don't, so the felt sense of what somebody's saying, does it resonate for you? If it doesn't, it isn't about because the words are just the pointers.
Yes.
There's an energy to the words, but there's also the resonance of where they're speaking from and their direct experience. They're expressing their direct experience. So I used to seep in that. So I think that was a natural meditation. I think
Yes. You
that
did.
probably was
That's perfect.
meditation, but I
Yeah.
wasn't doing meditation. And in fact, the
Yes.
other day, I was like, okay, so I'd started doing yoga in the mornings and I thought, oh, I could do a little bit of meditation. And so after yoga, I sat there and I was like, oh, what's this? This feels awful. And straight away, I recognized there was subtle contraction. There was this idea of doing meditation.
Right.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I could feel that subtle contraction. So maybe that's helpful for somebody to recognize that if there's ever a contraction, there's a doer, there's a me, there's a selfing happening. So can you just allow that to soften? Can you just, it's this sort of allowing, but there's not a me allowing because what we already are is here. It's just the softening of what we're not reveals what we are. So the softening of what we're not reveals. So it's not somebody allowing. It's tricky because we always take it from the separate self view. And
Right.
really it's just feeling for the right word, really.
For me, it's
Is
like
that opening
the
up?
background comes to the front of the stage and the little monkey show goes to the background, like the way you were sitting back. Even when you were speaking it, you sat back. And it's like the foreground becomes the background, and the background that's always there, tapping at the glass, like you said, becomes the full. And when you taste that, you get it's too beautiful and fragrant, and you want more, and you want to stay because it's you. And then the
But
next morning,
also
you might
it's
wake up and it's the monkey's back.
yes, switched again. But I
Yeah.
think it's also important to say how normal it is. Because if we say, but it
Yes.
is delicious, it is beautiful, and it can be blissful, it can be all of those things. But quite often, the very first glimpses are just really normal
Yes.
because it is what we are when we're not trapped in mental activity. So we're it all the time.
And
So it is,
sometimes you could even question it and say, "Is this it? Is wait? Is that?
well,
It's
most
just
people
so
do that.
regular."
It can't be this because it's just
Yeah.
so
It's
normal.
too normal. Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be a tricky point because because there'll be a thought wave come up. Well, that can't be it. So I did that exercise I am,
Yes.
and I was always just taken to this inky blackness. I'd do it with my eyes closed. I might have even been guided to do it by Eckhart or somebody, and I'd be left in this inky blackness. I wouldn't recognize what that was, but what would happen is, as soon as I opened my eyes, my mind would go, well, that was a bit boring. Should we do something else? I just wasn't recognizing that inky blackness, that with your eyes shut, that no thing
Yes.
is our true nature, is the absolute. That's why there's nothing, the mind can't do anything with it because there's nothing for it to grasp hold of because what we are, let's just sit with this deliciousness, what we are. Our formless nature is ungraspable. We're so used to form. We're so used to going towards tangible things. So we're
Yes.
used to the denser modes of experience. And can we just feel into what's here when we don't grasp, when we don't look towards form, when we just notice what's here and we don't try, when we don't do anything. I think Papaji talks about just stopping.
Yeah.
Um, and so at that point, there's nothing here, and then the mind will offer something up, and that's we can either accept that invitation that well, that can't be it, it's too easy, or oh, but what do I do later? I can't just sit here. I'm not going to get anything done. That there's going to be a being that wants to loop, that's being presented, but it has no power unless attention goes towards it.
Right.
Has no independent nature. It's just consciousness offering up like waves of experience. Would you like this? Would you like, and because it's been believed in, it has this draw. It has value because we believed in it. We believed in that voice in our heads. We believed it to be who we are. But we're
Yeah,
aware of it.
it was everything back then. It was so obviously
Yeah.
everything.
It was who we are. But
Yeah.
we're aware of it. So if we're aware of it, hang on a minute. It's that two positions again.
Back
There
to
is
totally.
something that's always aware, and the thoughts come and go. But what doesn't come and go is the awareness of it, or the space in which it arises, or the silence in which it comes and goes. That
Perfect.
is the ground of being which gives birth to all of the experiences that are transient. So we can't
Yeah.
be transient. We have to be primary.
Right.
We have to be the source of it all, the awareness of it all. And that awareness is impersonal,
Mhm.
it's formless, and it's all we've ever been.
Never born, never dies.
It doesn't age, so that it
Doesn't
feels the
it?
same. It feels very normal because it's what we are. It's not apart from us. Because how you can't leave what you are, can you?
Yeah.
You can't leave it. But we have an experience of leaving, and it's completely understandable. But where would you be going? How can you leave what you are? There is
Yes.
nothing. When we're rested in being, when we're not in the mental activity, there's nowhere else. There is nowhere to go. There can be an experience of leaving, but that is literally just attention going towards a thought and adopting this contracted sense of a me. So if there's contraction, we bring it back to that. If there's contraction, if there's push and pull, it's a warning sign entering, entering. Wake up,
Yes.
wake up, wake up. Because the mind sees it, the sort of there's like a spiritual one that sees it. Use a pen. There's a spiritual one that sees it as a problem. Oh no, I'm heading into, oh no, I fell asleep to my thoughts. Well, this is a sort of a subtle spiritual me that prefers the silence over the thoughts. It's now choosing this over that, and that's valid. But actually, this is a gift because it's saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And if we say, damn, I picked up thoughts, that's another invitation back into the game. It's another contraction that we can adopt, or we can say, oh, that's interesting. So I would offer it's to be interested but not invested in the thoughts. It's to have that curiosity. Oh, that's interesting. So that's looping. Those thoughts are being offered up. So it's this spaciousness that's now meeting the thoughts. So we're not trying to get rid of them because there's a frustration, there's an I developing. So
Yeah.
yes, there are thoughts appearing. Yes, there is frustration appearing, but it's not yours. It's only yours if you adopt it. It's appearing in the space that you are.
So beautiful. Do you know the prodigal son story? It's
Um,
that. Like
Roughly.
everything you're saying reminds me of like the prodigal son. Jesus talks about the two sons and the father imagine the kingdom is the non-dual space, and then the father says to these little imaginary sons, I'll give you everything. And the one son says, I already have everything. I'm here. And so the father goes like that, and then the other son says, give me my inheritance, and leaves the kingdom. And once you leave, then you're lost in the, like you said,
Yeah, the virtual
now you're
reality.
playing the game. Yeah, you're back. it's like you left the theater with the makeup on and you're King Lear, like Rupert Spira
Yeah,
inside.
you've gone
And you
home as King Lear, not that. Yeah.
yeah. And so the sun goes out, and the beauty is that, of course, the money will run out. The experiences will, the hedonism, the pleasure all wears out. Everything is temporary. And at some point, he is feeding, he's in tatters. His clothes are all tatters. He's full of dirt, and he's feeding pigs slop. He used to eat the pig. Now he's feeding the pig slop, and he's envying the slop. He's so hungry. So at that point, like you say, he has to back up, and so you have to make the
Other
turn.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other moves.
And
Yeah.
he heads home, all in imagination still. And the father steps out of the gate of the kingdom. That's your tap on the door. That's always there. And here comes the son, but still in the monkey mind. Oh, my father won't accept me. I'm a jerk. I'm an idiot. I blew all the money. I blew everything. I can't find my way back home. And the father just looks and doesn't see a mess, sees the son, the love, and runs. And in my version, I always make it that the son's head is down, or the daughter, and they hear like thunder, and the thunder is the footstep, and they look up, and there's the father with the outstretched arms, and they come together, and in the embrace, there's the one that the father and the son are one, and but right at that moment, the father says, "Get him new clothes and let's have a feast." And the brother comes out of the gate, so now out of the kingdom, so not in the non-dual space anymore, and could judge and says, "What about me?" And the father
Well, the other
says,
brother.
yeah, the other brother, but
Ah, okay.
has to
Yeah.
step out a little. And the father says, you were always home. You're always here, but your brother was lost and now he's found. He was dead
Oh,
and now he's alive. And
mm.
then you realize it's all imagination. Is only the one
Yeah.
that you taught, the formless awareness, imagining it's the little idiot that that is
Yeah.
lost until it comes back home. So beautiful.
Yeah.
And I like what you were just saying. Um, the thought that enlightenment is, even the word enlightenment, but or the thought of awakening or enlightenment, if you make it a little too extraordinary, you'll block. It's like imagining a God with a beard
Can't
in the
look
sky,
like me. Yeah,
Yeah,
it can't
yeah,
look like
yeah.
me. And I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that thought when I went to David. So it was offered up. It was like, well, he's going to think you're silly. He's going to think, what are
Yes.
you doing here? So that was all looping, but I had enough space to be able to just ignore that and just keep
Yes.
messaging him. But there was that. So yeah, so I think it's important to get across. We already are it. Yes, completely, that you feel you're not. That's completely understandable. Um, but it is it. Let's not make it something so unobtainable, something that you've got to obtain. That's the thing, we feel like, well, it can't be this, it can't look like
Right.
this.
Yes.
Um, so we everybody already is it. It's just that they're potentially asleep to it. They're potentially it's veiled because they're looking in the wrong direction. Because what's looking out into the world is it. It's
Is
just
it?
that they're sort of taken themselves to be this me, and me is a concept. You can't be a concept. You can't be a label or an idea. And when we look for the me, we do
Yeah.
self-inquiry. Where is this me? A word, I'm stuck, and it's my thoughts and my mind, and it's the well, where is this one that's lost? In absolute reality, right here, right now, not in a concept or an idea. Yeah, completely accept the story, absolutely. But where is it?
Yeah. Put it right here.
Can't be found.
Yeah.
And then they go, but, and I'm going to come back before
Always
we
a
do
but.
all the
Always a
buts.
but.
Yeah,
Always
which
a
is
but.
understandable again, because that's the mind offering up, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, come back. We've got to look long enough at the space that's revealed. That is the blossoming of what you are. It's revealing itself to you, and you're looking at nothing and going, no, it can't be that. And off we go. So I try and pull them back, and I say, just give it long enough.
Yes.
Just give that space that's opened up of no actual thing, because what we're doing is the mind is judging it as nothing. Now there is no thing that it's not nothing. It's because it's not tangible. The mind is not going to get it. So it's not the tool to recognize your true nature. So that's why
Yes.
it's good to say you know absolutely nothing. Start there. And I think maybe other traditions say beginner's mind or, no
Yes.
mind or
Even
it's
Einstein would say you can't solve a problem from the level of the problem. And that's what you're saying with the mind. You can't solve it from the mind.
yeah, yeah.
Let the mind go to sleep for a little, give it a Valium or something and let it rest, and then
There
it's
is
always
an
there.
unplugging. There's an unplugging, I
Yeah.
feel. You plug in and you into that, into mental activity. Um, it's a different way of operating that's become dominant. So there is another way. But, operating from mental activity, projecting to a future, uh, drawing on past, this moment is ever
Yes.
fresh. It's brand new. It's like sparkly and brand new.
Yeah.
Like that lens is completely clean. Brand new, brand new, brand new. This moment is fresh, fresh, fresh. What we do is we go, yes, but project to a future. Or hang on a minute and we drag the past and we miss the deliciousness of just this, fresh, brand new, just here, just this moment. What's between past and future? The mind can't answer that. It's
Yes.
just
I
it
love
might
that.
go just this, and that's fine. But can we peel away just this? What's that? What's left? It can't be spoken about. It can
No,
only be directly experienced.
it's amazing.
And it's like, wow. It's just delicious but it's
Yeah.
also very normal.
Yes.
It
Yes.
has to sort of blossom, doesn't it? When it's
Yes.
first seen, it
The
can be just
flowers.
very quiet, yeah, just like fertile ground. It's just, okay, well,
Yes.
this is it. Can't just be this. But if you pay attention, if you marinate, and I remember Eckhart talks about, not Eckhart, sorry, Muji always talked about zip yourself up in a sleeping bag, marinate in being. Once it's been recognized, go away, marinate in being. Don't
I
go
love
out
that.
towards the forms and, marinate in it. So when it's seen that fertile ground, when it's revealed, pay more attention to that than the ever changing.
Yes.
And then it will grow. Then it will
That's
reveal.
beautiful. Yeah. You have to be the
But what we tend
gardener.
to do is go straight back to the forms. Hang on a minute, what was that? Oh, how do I explain it to
Yes.
other people? Oh my God, was that really it? Have I woken up? And then we've got an eye that thinks it's woken up. Now we're in trouble
Then,
because
yeah, don't
then
write a book that quick. Don't.
yes, I
Yeah.
woke up. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with identifying with waking up. It's part of the journey. So then it's just eventually that I recognizes, hang on a minute. Who's journeying? Who woke
Yeah.
up? Oh God, there's nobody here. What I am just is. So what was all of this? And that can be a bit confusing in itself. But I recognize, you recognize that, hang on a minute, it takes a while to seep in, and you go, well, I'm not going anywhere. There was the falling asleep and waking up, but I can't leave what I am. So the stepping stones, even after self-realization of, look, like I'm saying, look towards what you are rather than what you're not. All these sort of things that we do for it to blossom so that it becomes abiding.
Yes.
Becomes it's what you are, and whatever's offered up, you just don't believe it because you know what you are. It's like, well, that's just that old patterning. It's still looping, it's still available, it's the potential of how life can, but it doesn't belong. I remember, because David does this lovely thing of saying, well, they're just invitations. So it's a really good, to ride a roller coaster of
Yeah.
drama, so it's a really good pointer. But there comes a point where you recognize, hang on a minute, who are the invitations coming to? Because there's still an eye that thinks it's declining the invitations. And then that eye, you go, hang on a minute. Who's declining an invitation? They're not coming to anybody. Oh my goodness. So even those stepping stones that are
Yeah.
handy, all of still that sort of process of waking up drops. And you realize there was nobody moving you backwards and forwards. There was nobody journeying, yet there was an experience of it all. So it's all
Yes.
valid. It's not a problem. Nobody's any better than anybody else if they're halfway and they're, we can re-identify as awareness. I'm awareness. That's fine because you're giving yourself a break
Right.
from the mental
Yes.
activity. It's like life's just looking after itself. It's taking it on a little journey, waking itself up. Because if you went from identified to no thing, I think it'd be a bit of a shock. And I
Yes.
think,
Yes.
some people do have that and they have to relearn the human, how to be human again.
Yeah. That's like a sudden enlightenment, I guess, compared to a gradual.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
love everything you just said, just took me back to, and even now to moments of just quiet contemplation and people, everyone's going to and fro, and you just sit still, and it's the greatest show on earth when you come to that groundless ground of everything, and you go, oh, now I see, and you start to see every metaphor, and you find the best one, like an ocean and a wave, or a lake and a
You
ripple,
get it all, don't you?
yeah, you get
All
it
the
all, and
stuff
it's
that you've
falling in
ever
love with
heard.
yourself. It's the greatest story ever. And then you forgive your old self for hating religion, or at least for me. I was such a skeptic of all of it. I just wasn't ready for that light. It was too good to be true, I think. You
Mm.
know.
Yeah, and that ground of being that you just touched on is um is where we can lean back in because I see it, obviously, it's unfolding, it's deepening. It's been 3 years for me, and I think it just keeps deepening. Um, so what I recognized is we were identified as the body mind, consciousness is, and then it wakes up to say I'm not the body mind, but then it comes all the way around to say I'm not only
Yes.
the body mind.
Yes,
But we have
yes,
to do that sort of
yes.
separation backward step to have
Do
a
you
break.
notice some people though, that are too, I love Tony Parsons. I love Tony, but I like you gave it like 2 days because some people, it's too much and they be sort of parrot it and they get stuck in like what you just described. Like there's a mountain, everything's real, everything is solid. And then there's the seeing through, and there's no mountain. Mountains aren't mountains, rivers aren't rivers. But then you have to come back to it's a mountain again. And so many of the Neo Advaita people stay in the empty part to me, the ones I see online, and you don't. But so many of them stay with that, and they never come back to the what you just said. You come back to the
Mhm.
person, and you embody
Well,
the.
I
It's
mean, they're
okay.
not wrong because they're
No.
looking from the absolute view. So it's
Yes.
not wrong.
No.
Uh, but we don't want to fix anywhere. You don't want to fix in,
I like that.
in separation. You don't want to fix in it's because
Keep
life
moving.
because it's fluid. It's
Yes,
fluid
yes.
anyway, isn't it? It doesn't fix itself.
Yeah.
Consciousness is a movement that life's creating for itself in order to experience itself. Because if it's the absolute and it has no opposites, does it create this world of duality within itself? So I sometimes use this because it's tricky. So if the absolute is has no attributes, so it can't know itself. It's got nothing to reflect against. So and it's formless. It's a no thing. So we could draw a circle and call it the wholeness. There's nothing apart from it, so it's wholeness. And I'm only using a circle to frame it to be able to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the wholeness, the circle. And then within the circle, it creates a world of duality from itself to experience itself, but it never becomes anything. It
No.
remains
Yeah.
unaltered by whatever appears within it because it's a modulation of itself, but it
Yes.
never fixes and becomes anything. So you get that the absolute view is you're completely untouched, you're unaltered by any of the game, but then there is a body mind here.
Yes.
So is so once we've recognized we're completely unaltered, that's when we can just go back in the game.
Yes. I love
And
that.
its life has created these suits, these outfits to experience itself to in all the richness, in all the messiness, in
I
all
love
that.
that.
So now when I have people, at the beginning, it's the people who are complaining and going, oh, my life's awful. And you sort of, when there's still that agenda, you want to fix them, you feel bad for them and you go, yes, but look, but look, but look. And now I'm just like, oh, how
Yeah.
gorgeous are they?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so gorgeous. I'm not seeing them as separate. I'm seeing the field talking about itself as separation, but it's the field that's totally
That's
free that's talking
perfect.
about. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
because they're not wrong, because
No.
it's the point of view that the freedom is adopting. So it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
It has
But
to be infinite. Yeah. Infinite. It has to suffer, and that you might meet a friend who sleeps on a bed of nails, and you say, "Why? What are you doing?" And he's like, "My back hurts," and you're like, you could sleep on. So you can offer a better bed or a mattress or something, but they eventually they'll get off the bed of nails and they'll move to something softer, you know.
but it's not our, life's journey uniquely. So it's not my job to wake anybody up.
Right, right.
Then if somebody comes and
But
says,
if
and
they
also I
pull,
can't, I'm not saying I'm
yeah,
waking people up, It's not Collette isn't waking anybody up, but the life is waking itself up. However, whether it's listening to you, Eckhart, reading a book, however, it's these stepping stones home to the home it never left.
yes, yes. It's
So
like an not in magic. I used to do magic, and in magic, there's an effect where you make this beautiful knot out of a silk, and the knot is right here, and then you just watch it, and it unties itself.
oh
And it's
wow,
sort of that. It's the
yeah,
untying knot.
untangling,
Only we
yeah.
think we're doing, let me give a little medicine or guide someone to meditation or do, or beam it out the way you're doing. Just keep beaming it out and let them feel your light, feel the warmth. And my teacher always said, be the open window, like
Oh yeah.
as the bugs are hitting it and they don't realize the whole thing's open from here and they're banging their heads against it and you just finally they feel that air and they just shoot out.
Oh, lovely.
So beautiful.
I use let the field do the work.
Yeah,
So you just rest as the field,
that's it. Yeah,
and then whatever the field
comes out.
offers,
Yeah,
and then it's fresh. Yes,
yeah,
there's things that we know work. You're the awareness of that, or you can, so there's some things that work, but sometimes it's literally allowing people to see it themselves.
yeah.
Quite often I say, "Oh, let's have a look at that." So they'll say, "We've got this," and they've already they then come up with the answer because they're the one that's got
Beautiful.
to see it. So when you
Yeah,
say, "Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Let's have a look at that. Let's look at that together," and you sort of offer them this space, and then they go, "Oh, well, actually," and then they come out with all this wisdom, and I'm like, "See,
yes.
you're already
You're a
there."
sage. Yep. Thomas Merton said to be a saint is to be myself. And that's perfect. Like you want to be a saint, you just be
Yeah.
yourself. And
And
sometimes we
that
just
allows
keep
them.
removing the, if you see them in handcuffs, put a little key in. Like that beautiful Hafiz poem, the small person builds cages for everyone, but the sage whose head hits the moon when they walk, their head hits the moon, just drops keys for all the rowdy prisoners at night. Just drop
Oh,
keys, throw them everywhere. I like that.
see what lands.
Yeah.
Seeds on fertile ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When somebody's ready for it, they just
yeah,
pop anyway.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And I feel like the ones that go to Tony Parsons are ready to pop. A lot of them are
And they
ready to
chop his head
pop.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, chop his
I
head up.
cut the head off.
I
So
love
I
that.
tend to do this little thing where I look all nice and I'm going, come to me. Come to me. Just pop your head
Yeah,
here. Oh,
yeah.
I'll listen to you. Then I chop the head off.
That's great.
They got no idea what they're coming
Yeah,
to. All
I
nice.
love that. Remember the end of Alice in Wonderland, which was written right in your country.
No, I don't know
At
this.
the end, the only thing that wakes Alice up is they go off with her head, and so
Oh, right.
they as soon as the sword comes right there, she wakes up at the lake and the whole thing was a dream.
Ah, oh,
So perfect.
wonderful. I'll have to watch a version of that again.
And your other guy, Hamlet, said, Shakespeare said a great line that when you return to it later, it says, ripeness is all, ripeness. And that's like, so some people get frustrated. Why isn't everyone awake? Well, if all the vegetables were, I say, if all the vegetables were ripe at the same time, we can't eat them fast. Like it's got to be a
Yeah.
progression of, putting it on the windowsill and letting it turn, and it takes time.
Just and it's life that's waking up to itself. So it's life that's journeying uniquely. It's not in a hurry.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
but then also, so I was like, well, hang on a minute. There was this spontaneous thing to share on YouTube. And I was like, what am I doing? Because from the absolute view, from the absolute view,
Right.
there's nobody here.
Right.
If we're really looking clearly, there's
Yeah.
absolutely nobody here. And then a little bit further into the dream, everybody is this. It's a one-player game.
Love
So
that.
but what I got was, there is suffering, and life looks after life. It cares for life. It's got it. Life's always got you. I know it, no matter how it's appearing.
Yes.
There is that. We've recognized that ground of being. So so I just got, well, life looks after life, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll carry on.
Right.
Because it's confusing. Because I was another thing that was recognized was, so we've got the journeying home and already home. I'm like, how the hell does that work? Because it just seems like we've got these polarities in the world of duality. We've got these things, and how does that work? But of course, what's viewing it isn't even in the game.
Yeah.
So we've got journeying, and we've got already awake or already home, and we've got the journey. They're allowed because they're in the world of duality. They're in the movements, but what's creating it isn't in the dream. Never
Yeah.
becomes lost. Never falls asleep. Never wakes up. Never
Love that.
is
Love that.
unaltered.
Yes. Yes.
And all
It's
of these
gold.
things. It's not because I'm. It's like it reveals it to you, doesn't it?
Yes. And
That because it's like, I don't understand that. And it's as if the mind drops into the heart, into this field of knowing, which I'm sure you can talk about. And then it becomes quite handy. Then
yes.
it's like, oh, okay, oh, so that means that it's in a very different, very gentle, very ah, contemplative. That's interesting. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So I see that. Yeah. So it can contrast and compare, but in this beautiful, fluid way instead of, hang on a minute, I don't get this. This is not right. I don't know. It's
Love that.
linear, bang, bang, bang. I see things in sort of textures and shapes, and so this just feels like it's this beautiful offering. The mind will just offer things to you, and
Yes.
that's what we probably call wisdom. So for me it was like, oh, offered this, there is no agenda, and absolutely nothing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And, and it's been great. It's been really handy because whenever there's a contraction, there's a doer, there's an agenda, drop all of that. All of that.
Yes.
So even for somebody who's, looking, is there an agenda? If there is, then there's this little me that feels like it's got to wake up. And, the recognition is you're already awake. What you are is wide awake,
I
is
love that.
awakeness.
Yes. Just like the Kabbalah would say, the infinite light contracts into itself, and so it has to. It appears to go to sleep. I say instead of it goes to sleep, it appears to go to sleep, but it's always awake. I love the way you put it because it's always full on, and then it appears to go to sleep, and then this beautiful world flowers. Another word you used, out of its heart. And it's when you really tap into that and you see that, it's better than any movie, any play, anything by Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare
Mm,
itself came out of that. Everything came out of that. All the war and
yeah.
all the love and all the babies born and all the like you said, any problem and drama, it all flowered out of this. And when you can it just keeps unfolding. Just be quiet and get into that ground.
Mm-mm. Because it's already happening. We tend to resist what's happening, but it's already here.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, the mind will then offer, oh yeah, but you can't just not do anything. We're not saying not do anything. Actions taken. But there's like
Yes.
this helicopter me that's saying, but I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I did that. And that sometimes is noticed that there's a delay on that. I had it really slowed
I
down once.
like
I was
that.
in the bathroom and I literally almost stopped to like a cartoon stopping. When you've like stopped, it was in
Yeah.
slow motion. I turned, I mean, it's on the most mundane thing. I turned, I reached for the bin, and then my mind said, oh, I must empty that bin. And I was like,
Yes. Yes.
just doing it. Hang on a minute. It was so delayed. It's like life had just stretched itself out to show itself how it's a commentator on what's happening. It's not who we are.
And
Life is.
psychology shows this. It proves it. There
Mm.
was this great
I love that
experiment.
you have all this knowledge to apply to my just very mundane,
Well, I think
practical.
of this experiment by a guy named, I think his name was Gray Walter in the 60s. And he did this genius experiment with a back then it was slides, like a slide projector.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
he hooked, the best experiments are always not what you think they're going to be. Like you think they're measuring this, but they're really measuring something. So they put all the electrodes on these people, and then they gave them the clicker, and they said, "Watch the slide on the big screen, and when you're done, click and move on," like you just said with that decision. So they look and they see a monkey, say, and then they're like, "All right," and they go to click. But what they didn't know is the genius of Gray Walter was he hooked the electrodes up to the slide machine, so the electrodes were set that when there was brain activity, it would click the clicker. And the clicker was a dummy. A wire just went nowhere. So the clicker did nothing. And they would go to click, but they'd say, "Oh my God," it was like the machine knew I wanted it would, and they double click because it already clicked it into, it was done right before. So
Ah,
the
yeah,
mind did it before they thought, so it was like
yeah,
pre-guessing everything
yeah,
they were doing. And
yeah.
that fits exactly what you're saying. It's so beautiful.
Because they were registering it later.
Yes, yes. And then taking credit for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I did it. I did it. I used to always have they made a show on TV with something like this. It was in someone's head, but in psychology, in my bachelor's degree, I would always picture it as a decision-making table with like 12 people in your head, um, and then there's you, and they make the decision like hamburger, hot dog, hamburger, okay, hamburger. And then you look through the glass and you see they picked hamburger, and then you say, I want a hamburger. But they picked so it's not the little self. I don't know.
Mm.
So what's one thing you've run into so many people seeking? What's one thing you would say is prevalent that you stop uh, right away? Like what's one thing you see over and over and over, this thing that we
What I
can,
tend to point out for people is when they go up to their head. So
oh, it's good.
I can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
when they're in mental activity. So then I
We're
I point it out, not to tell them off, not to
right, right. Make them
to point it
aware.
out. So then they
Yeah.
go, oh. So what happens is the next time they do it, I see
They
them
see
jump
it.
and I go, you saw it, yeah? And they're
Oh,
like,
that's
oh
good.
my God.
That's
Oh,
great.
I get that's what and then I did it again. I'm like, yes. And then they'll get lost and then they go into story and I'm like, do you notice you're back in the head? And they're like, oh my God, yes.
Uh,
So because it's just getting them out of their head and into being so that they can speak from here or rest here because there's not that story maker here. There's no I
Beautiful.
in being. Yes, but when I
Yeah.
went that's and it's a jump up, it's a movement up to mind. It's
Yes.
it's a I used to notice it like a big arc up to mind and then back down. So and the first time I ever saw somebody on screen, I could tell they were in their mind. Then I just had
Yeah.
to work out how I could tell. And it was just this, I can see the movement. And some people are a lot more obvious than other people. And it's recall, they're recalling a memory. They're
Yes.
recalling
Yes.
information, a story. So they're going to the past or they're projecting to the future. But when you're just now, you're just here.
Yeah. And that happens with when you get a glimpse, like if I know Jim Carrey mentioned this and it happened to me too. The first big glimpse was so powerful, and then you chase it. You think that that's what it is, and you're chasing the memory of what happened, but it might unflower a different way
Differently.
each time. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good, yeah. So people do chase that. They want exactly what that was, and it can be quite a peak experience. It's
Yes,
like
yes,
life gives them a complete flash. And
yes.
then when they just see this no thing, they're like, well, that's not it. Hold on, where's the bliss?
Right.
Where's the clarity?
Extraordinary. Where's
Yeah,
the
it was so
extraordinary?
lit up. So, everything was so shiny and everything was so, and it's like, well, that does come, but it doesn't always look like that.
Yeah,
And also, it's different for everybody, isn't it? We all
yes.
slightly experience it differently, and I can experience it differently. Um, some days, I was talking on a call and they were talking about how they were like, oh, there's this quality of when they were speaking, they asked me a question about that they're noticing listening rather than somebody talking. They're noticing, starting to notice the silence. And so we started to discuss that. And I said, that silence, it's not just no sound, there's some energetic quality to it. Listening, when you just listen,
Yeah.
listening, when you are listening, you're like, who put that there? There's this sort of aliveness. And so we were talking about it, and then somebody else started to speak, and I was looking at them, and everything was morphing. I was like in their kitchen with them, I was back out.
Beautiful.
They were speaking, and I was feeling the sensation of the formation of words in my heart center.
Oh, it's
And
beautiful.
then their words were as if I was thinking and speaking them. It was just like because I'd sort of sensed in a different way, only because we talked about it. So we were in that resonance of
Yes.
really tapping into the quality of what's here, the aliveness of what's here. And like I can feel it now. It's like it suddenly starts lighting
Just
up and dancing. And it's like, whoa, hang on a minute, how did I miss this?
yes.
It's always here, but we're just sort of skimming the surface sometimes, missing the different ways we can experience life can experience. Yeah.
I like skimming the surface and missing the essence that's under, and it's that
That's
thin that's right there. It's the whole. It's amazing.
yeah.
So
It's
if you had, oh, sorry, you go.
no, I was just feeling into that. What came up the other day was how it's infinite, but it's intimate. And I
Oh,
really
I love
felt
that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
When you hit on something, you're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that's so good.
yeah,
So it's infinite, it's huge, but actually, because we are that, it's so intimate.
yes,
It's so here now. And that's not even the right word because it's rub it between your finger,
yes,
intimate.
yes, yes. That's why the Zen masters will just put the shoe on their head or something, their sandal, because it's beyond that word. You know, the word we it hardens so fast. It's like you have to like a lot of what you're saying, you're moving your hand because it's flowing and it's free and but then it hardens into a concept so quickly. So
Mm.
that's practice to keep letting it, preferring the flow over the,
Yeah, the felt sense. For
yeah,
me,
yeah,
it's the felt sense rather than than
the
mental
known.
activity. Yeah,
Yeah,
the direct experience, the essence, the rub,
yes. I like the
the
rub. That's
oh,
Shakespeare. Again,
is it
herein
hard?
lies, yeah, he says, herein lies the rub.
Really?
To sleep, perchance to dream. Because he says to be or not to be. That's the question. And that's what we're talking about, to be or to stay up here, to be it, to experientially be it, or to know it is like heaven and hell. It's so vast. But there is a knowing, I'm sure you agree, when you're in deep contemplation and you, like you were describing before, and you go, oh, that's how that works. And you remember. And then you start to see, oh, as a metaphor, like the gate locks just when you do a certain thing, the gate locks, but yet there's a key under the rock there. And you remember to get the key, but then something might grab the key, or if you think too much about the key isn't there, and it might be under that rock and not under that rock, and you start to figure out the game, like the Truman Show, and
Yeah, the
all the little
subtleties of it.
breadcrumbs. Yeah, and that's a
But
beautiful knowing.
just how it can contract, and then there's a doer, and there's a meing, and a selfing, and it's so
Yes, yeah,
subtle. And you're like,
yes.
oh, what is this? Oh, I know
That,
that.
that, that right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember, oh, okay, you're in a prison cell, but the door is not locked. If I know it's not locked, it's not locked. But if I think it's locked, it's locked. And I
Yeah,
won't
well, you're not going to
but the,
try it because you think
yeah,
it's
you're not
locked.
going to try it. And then, like Rumi said, the key is around your neck or in your hand, but you're crying. And what are you doing? And so then you go and you see the guards are you. Everything's you, and the warden's office is empty because it's really and that's the
Oh,
highest level. And then you walk
imagination.
right out.
It's the
Yeah, all
imagination.
imagination. Yeah.
All the beliefs and concepts and ideas of what's here rather than just dropping all of that and revealing.
So it's like the king or the queen, whatever you want. It's
No,
like
I
this
know.
pure imagination. At some point, the greatest game ever is to make it look so real and to dream this like a Shakespearean drama or comedy or tragedy. And it dreams this perfect thing of flesh and blood and the whole thing, and puts in the hints that when you prick me, do I not bleed? And don't judge by color. It's all built in. And
Mm.
then the king realizes there's only that it's a pure imagination caught in its own imagining, and then you realize that, and you're safe home, and you're always
You're
safe.
free.
Like, yeah, you're always free. So you
You're
play a
freedom
game.
itself, aren't you? You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
apart from freedom. It's like, oh, I'm free. And then you're like, hang on a minute. No, I am freedom. I'm even
Yes,
more free. I'm
yes,
freedom
yes.
itself again.
So then you dream up bondage. You need to play, so you dream up the bondage. So it's the king dreaming. The king is the beggar or the homeless, and then waking up and realizing, no,
Well, that
I'm the
waking up
king.
is so sweet. I think I did
Yes,
mention, the it's so sweet having tasted the opposite of itself.
yes, yes,
Contrast of being bound, of being lost. The waking up, it's a drama, isn't it? So the waking up
yes.
is oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
Greatest.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, the simplest thing is looking for your glasses. Where's my glasses? But oh
yes.
my goodness, they're on my head. That that movement, that subtle recognition of that is exactly how it feels to wake up. Do you not think?
Yes. I wrote
Because
that exact thing
oh,
in the
did
book.
you? Yeah.
Same thing. And
It's
I
like,
say
hang
you
on,
make
you're looking for it. Oh,
and you
that.
make a
Oh.
spectacle of yourself, and it's right on. Sometimes it's on your nose. You know.
You're just gonna pop it back on. Yeah.
One time I remember I was with a girlfriend, and we were going to see a Christmas Carol, which is about waking. Scrooge wakes up in the end and realizes the whole thing is a dream, and I'm like, how am I get? I don't know where my credit card, and it was in my hand the whole
Oh
while
my
I'm
goodness.
gesturing. I'm like, we have to go back to the car, and she goes, hold on, it was
A
right
magic
here.
trick.
Yeah, yeah. And I like what you said earlier. There's so many things you said that I could piggyback on, go back to how it's a gift to yourself. And I always thought of it the same way, but the gift is like behind your back. It's your own, you have it behind your own back.
Oh,
And then you present
sweet.
it yeah,
Oh,
it's like
that's so
this
cute.
dog chasing the tail, and you never can, and then you finally get it.
Oh, I love that.
So
Oh,
beautiful.
that's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That you just had it behind your back the whole time.
Yeah.
You present it to yourself and say, look, you're home.
Yeah.
You're
You're
home.
home.
You're home. You're already home. Oh,
It's
that's
you.
gorgeous. Yeah.
And there's those moments of, I always say, you son of a gun. Like you almost said it. You're like, oh my God. Like it's that
I
moment
can't
of,
believe it.
Are
That
you
is,
kidding me? Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
And that's why I try to make it to be so as simple as possible. Well, I don't try, but that's
Yes.
I'm very practical, so that's how it comes out. It's like let's not make it complicated because it's already confusing
Yeah,
enough
it's
that
already so true.
let's just what happens is we drop all the confusion, we drop the got to get it. I don't know. I just drop it all, and what's here?
Yeah.
What's
I
already
always
there?
liken it to there's a beautiful arboretum in New York that I would go to with ponds and all flower and it's so beautiful. But imagine if someone hid the diamond that you're searching for, like, and it's in your pocket, but you don't know, or it's around your neck, and so you drain the lakes and you drain the ponds and you climb the trees, and then you finally sit down, like you say, back up, and you sit back exhausted on one of
You
the beautiful
surrender.
benches. Yeah, you surrender, and you just go like, it's right there, it's
Yeah.
right around your neck.
So
Amnesia. It's amnesia. Did you ever see the movie? So many movies point to it so beautifully, but this one movie I almost didn't want to watch it because I knew it was a love story, and I wanted this ultimate love story, not this regular love. But the movie was so perfect, and it's The Notebook. Do you know that one?
oh, vaguely, yeah.
In The Notebook, it's so beautiful. The main character is telling this lady in a assisted living a story, and they're talking about lovers, like young lovers. Ryan Gosling is one, and I can't remember the girl, but and you go through this whole love story, and then at the very end, the Notebook is the she wrote it, the old lady, and the old man's reading it to her, and and she goes, "Oh my God, it's us," and she
Oh,
realizes that's and then she sees the strangers there are her children, and this
oh.
is her husband, and she wrote the book, and then he never knows how long, 5 minutes, 10, and then she goes, "Who's this man?" and kicks him out, and you realize every day he comes back and
And
reads it to her
rereads it
every
again.
day, and
And so
she wrote
it's
it.
oh my goodness. So eventually she remembers.
For 5 minutes, 10, they dance. She kisses
Oh,
everyone. And then
oh,
she goes, "Who are these people?" And the
oh,
nurse kicks them out, and they have to
oh,
get out.
oh.
But he knows the whole next day he'll come there and read to her. And
Oh
it's
my
got to be
goodness,
so good.
that's
And she
love.
wrote it so well that it wakes her up. And that's exactly what we're doing,
It
you
is,
know,
isn't it?
from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
waking dream to the nighttime dream and just going around and around until you finally get it, and you put a crowbar in it. You say, "I
yeah.
don't want
And
to
they're
go
like,
back to
okay,
sleep."
no more, no more, no more games. I've
No.
seen through the game. Yeah,
And
I'm
then it
home.
gets more gentle. Like it might get you, like all of a sudden the ceiling breaks and the water comes in. And instead of you flipping out, you grab a bucket and you quickly move and you take
Mhm.
care of
And
it.
you
It's
don't create a
easier.
story about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You don't bring everybody and tell them what's happened to you. I remember just crazy things happening. I don't tell anybody about it because
Yes.
there's no
Reinforcing
need
it, right?
to.
Yeah, we
Well,
reinforce
it
the
just
story.
doesn't have, there's not that pull to do it because there's not if you're identified with it, there's a juiciness in the story and you've got to tell people and they're reflecting it back at you and they're validating your story. But if it's not your story,
Yes.
yes, it's what's happened, but in
Well, I have
my
a great
context,
version of that. Sorry.
yeah, no, no good.
My best friend took LSD, and he's in like there's a moment where it's just like a river, and it's all metaphor still. He didn't break through to the like I like you called it, the inky darkness or the inky blackness of every and there's a river, and it's just teaching beautifully, like on hour four, and it's the timeless net. He sees it's just amazing. He's right there, and he's able to see the river, and then he at that moment he wants to take his phone and tell me, you
Oh,
know, and this voice comes and says, who are you sharing it with? Even though it's your best friend, you want to, and it's like, no, this is it right here. You don't need to share it with one other because there are no. And then he could tell me later, and he told me later, but it was a beautiful moment of total surrender. No
Yeah,
others, no story, no.
we don't need to that. We can put that down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a
Amazing.
habit to pick it up. It's a habit to
Yes, yes.
entertain. Yeah, and we don't need to do it anymore.
My teacher would say, like you just said, whenever I pick something up, he'd say it's like a toy. You just picked up a toy. And it could be a horrible thing, like a thought or whatever, but it's like a toy, and we keep picking these toys up, and you just gotta
Just
not
through
pick it up.
habit. Yeah. Yeah, just through because we think there's value there. We think there's something to be gained, that it's got
Yes,
some sort of payback, some sort of value. But we have to value the truth more than the habits. There comes a
yes.
point where there's a decision, and and somebody maybe say, "Well, who's deciding?" But it's life deciding. You know,
Yes,
it's sort of the character, the body mind experience, the human experience has got to say enough.
yes.
Enough. I don't want this anymore. I want freedom.
That's why
You know,
it's beautiful when you get that feeling of, is this all there is? And it just wears out on its own. And
is this all
I
there
have a
is?
friend who,
So, sorry, yeah, you go.
oh, she said she decorated her house. She was in her 40s, man, and she decorated her house, and she thought that's going to do it. Like because she was always feeling, like you said earlier, always a step behind, always, it never could get there. So
Next
she did her
thing,
house, and she spent all that money. And like when you get a new car, it wears off in a month, or that smell of it.
somebody
And
bumps it.
she said it was one day,
Oh
like it
shit.
didn't even last a week. And she was suicidal within like one day. Is this all there is? And it
Because
pushed her
she
out to
pinned
go to
everything
church.
on it.
Yes,
Sorry, what
yes.
did you say? She
And it pushed her out to go to, I think her sister said, go to church. And she went to church, and I don't know if she listened or whatever, but when the preacher called her up, she said her body fell. It was like she
Mm.
saw herself on the ground, and she loved everyone. She was still here and
Oh,
loving
oh.
everyone. She hugged
She
and
got to
kissed and
breaking
ran
point.
out. Yeah,
She
yeah,
knew she'd exhausted. She had resources to exhaust. Because a lot of people
yes,
think, well, I'll just get the nice house and the nice car and everything, a nice life, and then I'll feel good. And they look for the fulfillment outside of themselves but what they already are is total fulfillment.
yes, yes,
Because they're looking in the wrong direction, they're not noticing it. Like you say, they're sat on the crown jewels looking at begging with a
yes,
bowl. So they don't realize what they're sat on, or they don't realize what they are. But there's an interesting point that I thought you pointed to, but you were reflecting something else. But this, the mind will judge what's revealed, especially if it's very quiet, especially if it's just the inky blackness or just no thing. Um, and you know, it's sort of that, well, this can't be it.
yes, yes.
And I say to people, what's wrong with it? What's wrong
Yeah,
with this?
yeah.
Unless you use the mind. Is it not
It's perfect.
okayness? What's wrong with okayness? Do you feel whole and complete? Does this feel, I probably don't use the you word,
Yeah,
I've got them in they're there.
yeah,
And, and then the mind, there may be a wave that says, well, is this it? And I say, well, what's wrong with this? Just
yeah.
this. Is it not already okay? Is it not, do you not feel, is it not already whole and complete? The fullness is already here. It's
Taste it.
like, what's
You're
wrong
it.
with it? Because
Yeah,
unless you use the mind, obviously that's going to come up with all sorts of things. It's it's fulfillment itself. It
yeah,
can't be spoken about. It's wholeness, you know.
yeah.
But it's not in the way the mind has dressed it. Is
Is
how
a man. Yeah,
how it expects it to be. It expects sparkling lights and the world to light up and all your problems to drop. But no, life goes on. The ups and downs, like you say, the ceiling falls in,
yes,
flat tires, somebody backs into your new car. All of that still happens. But you what you are is untouched by all of that. So
yes.
it is literally just what's happening. which I know is frustrating to somebody who's going, "What the hell?
I
They've just
know.
said this, what's happening?" I know, I understand that that's frustrating to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why going to
can't
the
look at it from the
woods,
mind.
I noticed in a lot of your videos there's nature, and I think that's a big, even through the window behind you, you can see some
Yeah,
green.
yeah,
So
it's a bit dark.
nature does something where it's not filtered through the mind, like it's just a babbling brook. Or I remember one of
Mm.
your videos, a bird just flew overhead and let out this cry, and you were like, and it's
Oh, there's a
that.
hawk.
It's right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's all of that. Someone said recently, I can't remember who said it, but all I'm teaching is not, it might have been Muji, but I don't think so. All I'm maybe Adashanti, I don't know. All I'm teaching is not a teaching, but just how to really hear the birds, like just
Mm.
to relax and really hear what the birds are
Yeah,
singing.
without
The singing
labeling
to
and
you.
naming them all.
Yeah. And that's the I am. It's right there. It's singing.
Singing.
That's my favorite part of Tony Parsons out of everything. Outside of when you see it flash in his face and he just has that advanced astonishment look of like that. Outside of that, when he says, and he might have stopped saying it now because it becomes hardened to but he
Yeah,
used
that
to say
dulls. Yeah.
yeah, he used to say the beloved is it's the loudest voice in the room right now, and it's singing to you right now. It's so beautiful, but I think it
Mm.
was too poetic even for Tony. He stopped saying it.
Yeah.
But I love
And
that.
it was expressing in that way because the life just
Yes.
decided to. So I have these meetings with small groups, and sometimes I turn up with a blowtorch.
I
And they're
love
like, "What on earth happened to you today?" And I'm having no nonsense. I'm literally
yes.
Tony Parsons. I'm chopping heads off. Saying, nope, nope. I just
Tough
won't let
love.
them get away with anything. I'm like, chop, chop, chop. No, 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 not having it, not
Yeah.
having it, not having it. And they're like, "Whoa, you're
Yeah.
scary." I'm like, "No nonsense today. No stories. No."
I find that fun to do.
It's
Like
out.
I have fun doing that. It's fun.
It's just on fire, isn't it? It's as if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
its fiery nature and it's just burning the house down,
Yes.
burning
Burn
it,
it down.
burning it, burning it.
Yeah.
Nothing's left standing. Just going to burn it
Yes.
all. And then sometimes it's just laughter. It's when
Yeah.
somebody's so serious, so like trying to get it, just starts
Just that little
laughing.
smile.
And I'm trying to, and I'm apologizing. I'm saying, I'm not laughing at you. This is just spontaneous laughter. And they say, no, I know. And I'm just laughing and laughing and laughing. And it's as if it just bubbles, breaks the seriousness. They
Yes.
can't be serious anymore. The laughter sort of cuts through. But I also know that laughter can really annoy people too,
Yes. Yes.
because it is just spontaneous. We are just expressions of life and we're all unique. So some people will express, we have this idea of what a spiritual person should look like.
Yes.
Feel serene and I can be that. I can be very grounded, but I can also be like a firework. I
Yeah.
just don't know
Yeah.
what's coming today. Meeting's going to be different. It's just going to be whatever's appearing.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's probably going to be a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Whatever
Eclectic.
how life wants to express, how it wants to reveal itself and kiss itself and open its arms to itself.
Love that.
Yeah.
You ever read Han Shan? You ever hear of him? It's a poet from like China from maybe a couple of thousand years ago or 1,000. But he would go to the monastery on the mountain and this guy had to dodge tigers. He lived in a cave and he wrote all the poems on the cave walls and the trees. He had no paper. And he would go and hang out with the chef in the monastery and they would have brooms and they were like giggling monks, and that's what you reminded me of there. Like, and they would just sweep people if people had too many questions. Or they'd go and they'd upset not the masters, but the students would be learning and they would walk by and it was way too serious. So they'd giggle as they walked by and they'd take they'd lighten it up a little bit. And I guess it's up
Oh,
to the
cute.
student to,
To tell how
I
they
love
take
that.
it,
Yeah.
whether it annoys them,
Yes.
whether they
Yes.
contract around that or whether they just
Yes.
think, oh, or whether
Yes.
it cracks, it makes a little, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
It's
holy
interesting.
fool. holy fool.
I think that's what I am.
You're great. So I don't want this to end, but we got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, this has been great.
So,
I've loved it. I love how you can
uh,
reflect all those beautiful stories and all that wisdom.
you too.
Oh,
The whole
nice.
time is just I'm trying to go back to everything you're saying and saying, yeah, that reminds me. That same friend that had to stop the river of now in order to text me said a thing, and I know you know this feeling when you're awakening, you think that's the end of all my now, Shakespeare and all my books I read and all, but no, they're like you said, they're all those little stories are there, and when you need them, you toss them out. They're still there, and it's nice.
And then more, maybe there is something else to be learned from somebody else. Maybe there's something from Adyashanti. I did a
Yeah,
interview
yeah.
with Susanna Marie the other day. I don't know if you know her, Suzanne Marie.
No.
And she was, I think, for a very short time, she did attend some of Adyashanti's satsangs, and so he introduced her to both of them are on Buddha at the Gas Pump interview,
Yes.
um, and so we got together and did an interview, and she talked about this head, heart, and gut awakening, and I was like, oh, okay, and you know how you've just experienced it in a different way, and that's just the framework. So
Yes.
it was really interesting to to then feel into that. So that she spot something in me that highlighted what had already happened, but I hadn't really, it hadn't landed in a way that I could probably express it.
I love that.
Having that interview, now
Yeah.
I can express it. So
Yeah.
the initial awakening is that, oh my goodness, oh, so it's the mind wakes up. It's as if the dimmer switches have been switched on. And I don't
Yes.
want to make it too flowery for everybody, but there is this sort of bing, this, how did I not realize?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So the mind wakes up, and then there's this hanging out a little bit and separating from life a little bit and thinking, thank goodness for that. And then there's this, the mind drops down into the heart center,
Mm.
and what happens there is the flowering of unity, where you can just lean back in to life. You start to
Yes.
just let it kiss your cheek. You're not frightened
Yes.
of it.
Yes.
You're just open and you see everybody as you, not in the way the mind paints it, but that you can't see where you're not. I know you look different to me, but I know there is
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
there's there's the same
Yeah.
thing happening, animating.
Yes.
But then the heart, and then the gut awakening I recognized was this that's untouched,
Ah.
recognizing that the fear and the survival mechanism of a separate self that's going to die is liberated, is just, and that's where you can step in as the self, knowing that you're unharmed. Obviously the body mind can be harmed, the brain or the physical body can be harmed, but what you are is untouched. So you're
Yes.
fearless. Somebody says something horrible to you, it's just
Oh,
washes off. You don't blame them.
perfect.
You don't attack them. It's just, oh my goodness. But then it doesn't
Yes.
mean that you're not human, that you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I
Right.
think I need
Hold
to
on.
just put some boundaries in place there.
Right.
So, it's the messiness and the beautifulness and the
I
whole.
love the both. You're doing the both, which is so perfect.
So that
Like
was
that.
lovely. So why I said that was life's constantly learning. And
Yes. Yes.
and I've learned from what you've said, I'm seeing things, the richness of all that knowledge is just, gosh, it's just beautiful. There's such that it's been shared in those ways. Like you're saying, there's these little gifts, these little things that life has been revealing,
Yes.
just
Yes.
popping there like little keys have been just
Yes.
hidden under here, hidden there, hidden in a different framework that maybe got manipulated, but the essence is still there.
Yes. I love
Beautiful.
that. Yeah, we can and sometimes it's fun just to like an Adashanti or a Muji or a you is to hear how you finesse it. You might know it, I know it, but you finessed it in a way like I like to hear it. Like, and you realize at some point it's everything you were just describing. It's autobiography of
It's
God
a,
or the one or whatever you want to put, whatever word you want to put up. It's your own autobiography, and you go, wow, it's just wow, wow. And I know you want to keep it ordinary too,
no,
but
but
it is
it's,
wow.
it is,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
just
both,
don't
you
get,
see, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
it's
both.
both.
It's very
Like that
ordinary and
Maharaj line. Do you,
extraordinary or astounding.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, like you, I think you said it that way. You said it's like finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, and that's the whole. It's both. The Maharaj had that great line. I'm sure you heard. Like my wisdom is knowing, I'm nothing. Love is knowing, I'm everything. And between the two, my life moves. And it's everything you're saying there. It just keeps moving.
Movement, that flow, that
Yeah,
you're not fixing anywhere. Yeah, it's everything and nothing and all of it. And
all of it. And if you forget, you're gonna get kicked in the ass, and
yeah,
it'll
it's just
wake
gonna
you up.
wake
It's
you up.
okay.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
say
Yeah,
thank
and it's
you.
okay. It's
Yeah, thank
okay.
you for that little alarm clock, that little
And the
alarm clock in
warning.
the dream. Yeah, that warning. Once on
That's
LSD, on like hour seven, just so you
oh my
know,
goodness.
um, there was tremendous fear. Like you're in, like everything was great, but then it all of a sudden it turned dark, and it was like the Grim Reaper,
Oh yeah.
the club, and I saw it as um like poking and keeping you on a beautiful path, and when you fall off, it pokes and it gets you back on the road, and then I faced it, and because if you run from it, it's not good. So you face it, and it turned around. It was like back, and it turned and went like this, and it just dropped to and all the black dropped to light, and the whole thing go. And it's just when you face it, and it's just beyond words again at that point. But you see that the even the prodding and the poking and the squeezing and the suffering is like that
Is
great line by Hafiz. Sometimes love has to hold you upside down and shake the nonsense out.
yeah,
So it's like and like you coming in with the broom and smack everybody and cutting heads off, like not
yeah.
today. And that's the
No,
tough
no.
love. That's
No nice
sometimes
Collette today.
better. Yeah, because nice sometimes they don't learn. It doesn't
No,
stick.
no. Yeah,
It's got to
yeah.
stick, and so you want to really make it
Fierce
stick.
love. It's fierce love today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fierce love. I love that.
We're leaving nothing behind. We're not no
Yeah.
nonsense anymore. Yeah, we're
Yes.
burning
No
off.
nonsense.
You planned up, so you're getting it.
Yeah. And you deserve it.
Yeah,
And it's
because it's
okay.
a
It's just like
gift.
a
It's a
parent's love. Yeah, it's a gift.
yeah, yeah. Grace, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
beautiful.
Everything's okay. When you realize, like you said before, despite appearances to the contrary, it might look bad, all is well. And that's the message from
Just letting
everybody.
my cat in. Hold on.
Oh, sure.
You trying to get in? Come on then. I'm trying to get in. Safe and scratching away. Um,
Those are little Zen masters
yeah,
themselves.
got a very noisy Zen master. Where the big one. Are you coming in? No, I was just waiting. He's coming in and out. Um, wow, I think we covered a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been great. We could just go on for hours, couldn't we?
So to end, let's just end with I asked Dan Schmidt. I think you said you watched. I'll ask you the same question. You're in an airport or at a park bench, and someone has their ticket and they're ready to go, and they have 3 minutes, and they grab you and they say, Collette, just tell me, what do I do? I don't know. I can't get it. What do I do? What would your 3 minute pitch be?
Hmm.
I know it's different for everybody, but I know it intellectually. I can't feel it. I can't feel it.
I'm just feeling into it. It's so
Just
delicious.
this right here is perfect. Just be quiet.
It's almost like that's okay. It's okay.
I like that.
It's okay. That's all.
Accepting.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand. It's okay. Yeah, you don't get it. That's okay.
That's
All
okay.
fine.
It's perfect.
Absolutely fine. That's okay. And then they go, but, and you go, yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's all
beautiful.
right. It's just that total acceptance. So you model the acceptance not on purpose, not like I'm going to do that so they recognize it. You just totally accept them as they are, and maybe they can totally accept themselves of where they
Ah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like
it's
a
like the house
mirror.
of cards falls. But it's
Yes,
not somebody trying to do it. It's just that you, I
it's
don't
real.
need them to wake up. I don't need
Yeah,
them to be
yeah,
in the way. It's okay that that you're not getting it. It's fine. And I guess in
beautiful.
just allowing them that energy of the grasping energy, that they're being accepted as they are, not told
Yeah,
that they're wrong or they've got to get anything. Maybe that's the alchemy. Maybe that's where the transformation is, that they can
yeah.
feel okay, and that in feeling okay, it's revealed potentially.
A little medicine at that moment helps. It's a little bit of MDMA. Don't go dancing. Silent darkness of like that room. Shut the light, shut your mouth, be quiet, and it dissolves that too. It helps. It helps.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you don't take it, that's okay too.
Mm, mm.
I'm just trying to get people over the taboo of it. So many
Yeah,
teachers
yeah,
don't mention it. They don't, so
yeah. Well,
many
it's not something
teachers took it and don't mention it.
I have got an interview with. Well, I didn't. It just hasn't turned up
Yeah,
in the middle of
you were
nowhere.
lucky.
Plenty of
Yeah.
mushrooms here. I'm sure I probably could have found some. Um, but I have got an interview on my channel with somebody who did a lot, tried everything, almost killed himself with a door.
Wow.
Yeah, a guy
Yeah,
called
there's
Sam.
that side too.
Yeah, yeah. In just he kept going for more, just kept going for more, kept going for
Yes.
more. That's where that it put all your eggs in that basket and kept going for more. And in fact, I think if I remember rightly, I think his awakening was literally Adyashanti saying, "Who's meditating?"
Yeah.
But he was like,
Perfect.
"Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, there was somebody that was meditating. Oh, but who was that?"
Just that line. But maybe the medicine and going through that allowed him
Yeah, who knows?
to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that
Yeah.
softened. Maybe that gave him the glimpses. Maybe
Yeah.
that, and life wakes up uniquely to it.
Yes.
So, you with hindsight, you see it's all perfect.
Yes. And okay, last question. Do you think that this dream is always going to be this swinging from, darkness and light and back and forth? And that's our little laboratory for the one mind to wake up, like, or does that pop and it'll be the end of the world? Who knows?
I don't
Yeah. You don't? I thought you knew. Damn it.
know.
I missed it again. Yeah. Maybe it's both.
Oh, that's what I just got, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I got that. Yeah. I
It's
was just
there and
feeling it.
it's not there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got. I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
both. And then you said it's
See?
both.
See, you answered it. You just did it quietly.
Well, I was just feeling into it
Yeah.
because it's everything and nothing. So it's always going to be that.
I think it's always both.
Always going to
That,
be. Because the
yeah.
potential is for it to appear and disappear. And it's never fixing. So it's never one thing.
Yes.
Never
Like
going to
I
be
said,
done.
I said,
Never going to
cat's
be.
a little Zen master. And you go, yeah, but they're loud too. So it's always the two,
Yeah, yeah.
always both. Yeah. And that's beautiful.
It's just a flowering, a constant unfolding, a constant revealing itself
Yes.
to itself. And is that how it learns about itself and it grows and enriches itself and it just keeps birthing and birthing and birthing and dying and birthing?
I get high just from that, right? Just that. That's potent medicine right there. Thank you so much. I
Oh,
see a
thank you.
part two next year.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, this was wonderful.
And your wonderful invitation. It was just the energy behind it. I was like, I'm in. Whatever. I don't know what he said, but I'm buying it.
I'll take it twice. Thank you. Have a great
Oh, thank
night.
you. Thanks,
And
James.
I'll put a link to maybe there's a website. I know there's a YouTube channel. Is there a
Yeah,
website?
there's YouTube. Yeah, yeah, there is
Okay.
as well. But YouTube, whatever.
I'll put
Yeah, I can
everything.
send you them. Yeah, and if you need a
Yeah.
picture or anything, and and I'll put a before it comes out. If you let me have the thumbnail, and I can promote it.
Oh, sure. It'll be
Yeah.
fast. Maybe a
Okay.
day or two.
Oh, great. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll
See you,
promote.
Colette. Thank you for
Thank you so
everything.
much. Lots of love.
You too. Love you. Bye bye.